everyone. We're just going to go ahead and get started. We are recording this meeting, so hopefully other people will watch and then maybe provide input after. So we're going to send this out tomorrow with the downtown business owner meeting we had last Wednesday. So both of those will be there for everyone for their needs. My name is Haley Van Patten. I'm the Marketing and Public Relations Manager here at the Ogden Downtown Alliance, and this is our first Nine Rails meeting back in this year specifically, but I'm actually not sure when we had our last actual district meeting. We've had a lot of special sessions between Make Ogden and the OGX project and a couple other things, so I'm not sure when our last one actually was, but happy to be back. So I thought we could just maybe go around the room really quick and just say your name and then who you're with in the district or with the city or whomever around town. So.
Start, I guess. I'm Jessica. I'm the new Arts Events Coordinator here at ODEC.
That's it.
That's it. That was short, please.
My name is Zachary Johnston. I am a community coordinator here at the Ogden Downtown Alliance. My primary focus is art and community coordinator in the department. My name is Thomas Kieran, and I work here at the Ogden Downtown Alliance, do development and some visual content things.
My name is Margaret Egan. I am the marketing coordinator, so I use the media. I'm Hannah. I'm from Argos in the Water. I'm Belinda Hess. I'm in operations, so I oversee operations for the 63 Treasure Group.
Awesome. I'm actually going to turn the time over now to Sean to talk more about the Entrepreneur Academy. If you wouldn't mind coming up here and just speaking. This is not for projection, but for our recording purposes. And then after Sean, then I'll just turn the time over to Andy to give a brief update on the OGX reconstruction.
Hello, friends and neighbors. It's good to see everybody today. It's good to be here back in the building, and I think it was Zach that said it's good to be back in person again. So, so I represent Weber State Small Business Development Center, and some of the providers in the room are aware of what we do. But I'll just give you a little overview of what we do generally, and then tell you about a new online program that we are just launching that we'd like to make available to small businesses in this area. So the Small Business Development Centers are part of a national network. We're in every state. There's over 1,000 locations, and there's 14 locations here in Utah. So I cover Weber County primarily, but I live in Davis County. So I also cover part of Davis County. Weber State has a campus in Farmington, or a center. They call it a center, not a campus. Excuse me. I would be in trouble if I said that to the wrong people. So, the Small Business Administration, the SBA, also sponsors us and provides part of our funding, and then Weber State obviously hosts in this area. So our basic function is to advise small businesses at no charge to the small business. My salary and all of the salaries are provided through the federal and Weber State. And our bread and butter is to meet one-on-one and provide small business counseling anywhere from ideas through licensing and registration, hurdles, market research, marketing ideas, business plan, writing assistance, financial projections. Then my background is in law as well, so I help a lot of people with agreements. We just provide those types of services. I like to say that we're here to help the entrepreneurial ecosystem grow and to remove barriers one at a time in front of these entrepreneurs. And so we just are super encouraged. I'm super encouraging and love the entrepreneurial spirit that we find here and want to make it bigger and better. And so we help any type of business, from tech to low tech, like cleaning services and landscaping, up to some of the latest and greatest technology services. And we'd just love to do it. We meet here at my office is on 26th and Monroe, the Weber State Community Education Center. I'm there a couple days a week, and then I do work from home the other days of the week. But again, I can meet people at the Farmington or Davis campus. Davis is a Davis campus in Layton. But yeah, so just recently we launched what we call the Entrepreneur Academy. It's online at the Utah SBDC website, which is utahsbdc.org. And through the CARES Act, the Utah SBDC put over $500,000 into a small business online training program. And I don't love the name because it's kind of hard to find, but the Entrepreneur Academy we've put thousands of hours into it. Some of the presenters are SBDC people, but they've also hired actors and industrial design area, educational design instructors to put together the program. So it's a combination of learning styles, graphic, verbal, written styles to accommodate a lot of different people. And similar to our services, it is kind of that on-demand system of learning about all things small business. There's 10 different segments, everything from licensing and registration to marketing and legal and finding financing. And so it's definitely a go at your own pace, kind of early step, ground basic program. And we're working on kind of a growth module, but this is all very grassroots, first time entrepreneur or relearning or remembering type entrepreneur as well. And so it's a great way for people to just jump in what module interests them and to jump around into the various modules. The total program takes about 7 or 8 hours if you go through all the modules and read all of the definitions and listen to all the video presentations. But you can pick and choose, like I had somebody that was interested in crowdfunding, and we've got like an SBDC person that specializes in crowdfunding. So I said, hey, rather than me trying to reinvent the wheel, go see our segment on crowdfunding. So so there's expertise like that have gone into this, and we just want to make sure that people are aware of this online system. The only cost to it is giving up your email address, and then being part of our mailing system. So the number of visits with us or the online system are all free of charge. There's no such thing as free, right? Free of charge to the small businesses. So it's so definitely check it out. It's optional whether you meet with an advisor thereafter. A lot of times information is good, but sometimes it's hard to figure out how it applies to your business or the business. And so that's where where the advisors like us and the Davis Tech counterparts at SBDC come into play, so we can help you apply some of those basic business principles. So anyway, it's a great service. We wanted to partner kind of with Ogden Downtown Alliance, and we're also talking to the Chamber about making this resource really available throughout this region as kind of a pilot of what this can be nationwide, frankly. So we're kind of excited that the Downtown Alliance has seen the benefit of this. The chambers are seeing the benefit of this to really get some better business education out there in the community. But yes, I saw a question. Yes, utahsbdc.org. And I found that people from the South say SBDC. I say SBDC. So it just depends on that. But SBDC, whatever, utahsbdc.org and Entrepreneur Academy. So any other questions? Thomas, does that cover it? Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly, yeah. And you could totally do it online. You would never have to talk to us if that's your thing, or you could meet with us at any point during the process. Not that hard, yeah. Not that hard anyway. I've got a cavity anyway, so. All right, okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Thomas, for having me.
Well, I didn't know when I was coming today I'd be following Sean Buse, but I'm excited to see him again. We go way back, neighbors out in Hooper. But anyway, good to see Sean again. But anyway, so I'm here to give an update on the Ogden Express. The OGX is what we call it now. The UTA BRT project that's happening on 25th Street, Washington, and Harrison right now, as well as the Weber State campus. So it was exactly 3 months ago that we had a pre-construction meeting with 25th Street businesses. Deanna, good to see you. She comes to all the meetings, so she is very engaged. Appreciate her involvement. But yeah, so we kind of provided an overview of what the project, what we'll be doing, the schedule and the impacts. And so we got a lot of valuable information from that meeting that helped us with our coupon program, the business promotion program. And Bill Knowles here is with me, and he'll be talking a little bit on giving you an update on the coupons. But anyway, the work is progressing very well. I noticed an article in the Standard Examiner this morning, which is not completely accurate. So if you happen to see that, don't read it. I'm going to give you the correct scoop on the schedule today. There was some schedule discrepancies on there that aren't completely accurate. So 25th Street, we are progressing very well on schedule. It's been a fairly light winter again, although we have had some pretty cold days and some snowy days where we had to shut down, but overall we're doing really well. 25th Street we have completed so far, so we started off with the water line, the city water main, installed that. That's all in. We're doing some testing, pressure testing this week, and also connecting the services in within the next week or so. And then the storm drain, we're halfway done with that. We're working now between Adams and Jefferson. So those are some of the preliminary utility activities that we had to get out of the way before we could start the actual road work. And then we've also got Comcast, CenturyLink, we've got street lighting, power work. So over the next several weeks, you'll see that happening. If you're out there, right, it looks kind of like a nuclear desert right now, if you've been out there, but give us about a month and it'll start looking a lot more like a road. And so also Adams Avenue, we've had that closed for the last couple weeks, and that will continue to be closed through the end of March, north-south between 26th and 24th Street. That's necessary to bring some utility lines that are crossing through there. We have to trench through there to put those in, but that will be more of a short-term closure. And then also we've worked with the businesses on this coupon program. I'll give Bill a minute here to talk about that, but that's been very successful. Wanted to also mention, so overall schedule, so we're planning to get the road open by the end of May, get all the paving done. And so over the next few weeks, you'll see utility relocations, and as we move into April, we'll see more concrete flat work with curb gutter, sidewalk, and driveways being replaced. And we're also working on the stations. There will be an OGX station at Jefferson, right there in front of the library and the church. And then as you move east, we'll have another station at Monroe, and then another one at 25th and Harrison. So a lot of work's happening to get those platforms done. And then Washington Boulevard, we'll plan to finish that up this spring. You'll start seeing the canopy go up then. So that's a really quick schedule overview. We have alternate parking areas for businesses. The cross streets are all open for that, as well as the lot north on the north side of 25th Street across from the Monarch. We worked with the Boyer Company to get some alternate parking over there for businesses, and the pedestrian access is open, so you can park on the north side. And then also the Monarch's got an agreement with the state of Utah to temporarily use their parking structure. So overall, things have gone pretty smoothly. I haven't had many complaints at all, and in talking to the businesses, most of them are doing just as well. I don't know, maybe Deanna can provide some more insights on that. Okay, good. We're about halfway there. So anyway, I wanted to, are there any questions about construction or schedule that I can answer? Okay, very good.
probably should have Haley up here talking about this. She's been out pounding the beat, haven't you? But this has been a tremendously successful rollout, so much so that we think we're going to do a second. I say think because we're still picking up and reimbursing and seeing where the budget is going to end up. But it has been overwhelmingly successful, and I think Deanna can attest to that. Some of the restaurants there have done incredibly well with it, and it's something that we feel proud of in terms of the execution and having the Downtown Alliance helping us out with this, because it's not as complicated. I mean, shouldn't have said that. It's more complicated than it looks, was my point to say, and getting all of this stuff out and making it so you can't duplicate it and there can't be fraud, and then to have the administration of it, and then these guys have played a very big role in that. So, but it's kind of a labor of love, if you will, because it's been one of the best tools that we've had in these projects. It's, I think, the third or fourth one we've done this on. And this particular, the 25th Street stretch here, has been a tremendously successful. It doesn't make up for everything. We know that. But it does create this extra incentive and this extra drive for people to get into these shops that might otherwise be driving off somewhere else and saying, hell, I don't want to go through that mess. And so this $15 is still a pretty good number, even with inflation these days. They're not throwing it in the wastebasket when they get their hands on it. They've also, the Alliance has been very helpful in distributing it, and farmers market, down at the bus stations, every place we can, we've been handing them out. And as I said, we're still, now we're, as we have just been ramping things up on Harrison, we're have launched just recently the coupons for Harrison businesses, who will now be also undergoing a lot of construction impact. We're going to come around, as I said, and let this one actually expired on the 28th. We're allowing reimbursement through the end of the week. I think that was the 4th or 5th, just for those stragglers that might have come in. I'm telling people don't throw them away or kick them out. Take the coupon in. But anyway, so they'll be making one last run to pick whatever else is out there. And God, I mean, it was like 7, 8, 10,000 bucks, I think, almost. Yeah, I'm going to say almost $10,000, and I laugh because that's one of the biggest, quickest rollouts we've had in returns. So, and as I say, we're hopefully haven't got the official word till we get all the checks cleared, but we hopefully will have, because of the length going into May with 25th Street, we might have another one to take it through to the end, come out maybe in April, to take it into the end of the project. So we're still discussing that internally, but hope to have a word on that the next week or so, right? Any other questions on, this is a coupon. That's easy, right? Okay, we're done. Thank you. I want to say I already told you this, but you have one of the most innovative ways of applying this. You took it around and placed it on items in your store, basically creating the incentive for that item, a number of items throughout the store. And I thought, oh, we never thought of doing that before. And so I just think all these kind of things, and as I have said 1,000 times in my speeches, all you have to do is give some tools and give some information to small business owners. They know how to stay alive. They know how to take care of business. They know how to take care of themselves. Just give them information and give them some tools to work with. And you prove that, and all these other businesses are doing it also. So, thank you.
Also, to support that, we're posting business spotlight videos.
Oh, yeah.
On our Facebook page. So our followers are way up. Like it's increased by about, I think about 80 since we started working on 25th Street. So I know a lot of you are getting involved in that. But yeah, none of the folks around, they're running the motions for that on their Facebook page. So social media.
Yeah, we've done some great videos. You guys
And just to kind of piggyback off of that, so we mentioned that number 9,900 is what we have reimbursed so far. And just as a comparison, when we did the Washington Boulevard vouchers last fall, I think we were just over like 700, between 700 and 800 total. So this has definitely been like miles more successful. Yeah. And we've been really happy with the outcome. So I just think that's like an amazing number. When I looked at that this morning, I was like, wow. I just want to take a couple minutes, thank you for sharing, to provide a brief Make Ogden update. So Brandon Cooper, who's usually here, I reached out to see if they had any large updates to give, and they're still in the same phase that they were in at the last round of district meetings. So they didn't have enough of an update to really provide much for you all. So he passed on some information though. Last month on February 16th, Make Ogden and the Design Workshop hosted a virtual ordinance meeting, which I know several downtown business owners, managers, and residents tuned into. That recording is still available, so if you have not watched that, that's probably the easiest way right now to catch up on that project and kind of see where they're at currently. We sent that out in an email also on February 16, but if you didn't get that, I can forward that to you again. And then it's also up on our Ogden Downtown YouTube channel, I think, maybe, or there's a link somewhere. I can send that to you if you have not watched that yet. And if you have any further questions about that ordinance meeting, I can put you in touch with Greg Montgomery. He's happy to answer any questions and chat with you more about that. Otherwise, we will continue to communicate those Make Ogden updates as they happen, and we will probably have an update from them. I think our next meeting is, yes, June 21st. So if there's anything that they need to update the group on, then they'll be at that. If not, I'll give another update on their behalf. Any questions about that, just let me know after or send me an email. And then next, I just wanted to make a note for our Instagram takeovers. So Cam, who is sitting here, manages our Nine Rails Ogden Instagram page and also the Facebook page. But we do allow businesses to take over our Instagram stories for a day, maybe a weekend if you have an event going on, art stroll, things like that. That's just a way for you to connect directly with the audience that we have built, and that's very inclusive of the community, but then also of other business owners and like city officials. Like lots of people follow those pages and are constantly engaging, so that's a really good way just to drive traffic back to your pages. And I know UTA has been putting out those business spotlight videos, and then Cam's also been doing a ton of business spotlights on our Instagram page, especially during this construction phase, to just really make Nine Rails as visible as possible. So both of those things, sharing the business spotlights from UTA, but then also taking advantage of our Instagram takeover, is just another way to get out there. And then last but not least, I have an update on our facade improvement grants. So as you might remember, during the first year of COVID-19, because now we are many years in, so fun, we worked to help establish the Facade Improvement Grant Fund, and each business could apply for up to $5,000 in funding to help with facade projects and updates. And since 2020, we have been able to fund $46,000 in facade improvement grants to 16 businesses. That is pretty incredible. And now we are working to join the, wait for it, National Main Streets America organization and earn the community designation for Ogden in the Utah Main Streets program. Lots of words. I definitely had to write that one down. But we were just awarded a $30,000 downtown enhancement grant through this, and that will be funding our next round of facade improvement grants. So we are hoping to have that application live in April. So more info on that and the application link will be coming in the next few weeks, but I wanted to put that on everyone's radar now. So if you have any questions, feel free to chat with me after or email myself or Kim Bauscher. We'd be happy to talk through some of those pieces with you. And with that, I will let Jess from our office come, and she's just going to quick talk through some of our upcoming events that will impact traffic in the downtown. So.
Hi guys, I'm Jessica, the Arts and Events Coordinator, as we established earlier, but for our viewers at home. So we've got a couple events coming up. We've got Spring Beer Fest coming up this weekend, actually. Tickets are almost gone, so if you want to go and you haven't purchased them, we expect that they will sell out tomorrow. So make sure to grab those. That will be on Saturday, it'll be at Union Station, so there will be a little bit of extra foot traffic in the afternoon. It starts at 4 with a VIP hour starting at 3, so be expecting extra traffic a little bit before that. Have your doors open and do some social media shout outs, maybe get people down there a little bit early. The next event we have to talk about is the car show. Car show will be on June 3rd this year. We're returning to our regular schedule. And so yeah, June 3rd from 5 to 9, 25th Street will be closed, but do absolutely expect increased traffic that day. You know, cars are going to start being parked at like around noon or something. So make sure you're ready for that. And then,
And that's a bonkers weekend because it's
Yeah,
art
it's
show,
nuts.
And it's art stroll, and it's O-Foam, and it's the tattoo convention at Union Station, right?
Yeah.
Did I miss anything? Like literally, there's so
yeah,
much.
there's
So
at least 4 major events that day or that weekend. So,
just gather all those people to your business.
yep, just hoard them in. Just come on, guys. And then the last thing that I kind of wanted to point out to you guys are lucky because you're here and you can see them, but we have banners in the back. These are from our spring art call. What we did is we put a call for art out and artists submitted how they feel Ogden is, right? Like they're like, this is Ogden's vibe. I feel this is what it looks like in a picture. We had several submissions. We ended up choosing 11 images. And they're going to be put up next week-ish, and they'll be just on the banners throughout 25th Street, the Junction, and Washington Boulevard. But I think they turned out fabulous, and the colors are insane on those, and I really am happy with how they look. I'm very excited about them. Did I miss any?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna give a plug for cars.
Nice.
You think this will capture from all the way up here? So I'm really excited to be in front of you all now to give a small plug for the upcoming Summer Farmers Market. One of my primary areas of interest is developing on each block. We have a 3-block market. It's huge with 250 vendors. Each block we want to be able to host community-centered events that are either kind of a festival atmosphere with music and entertainment and things like that, or educational atmospheres where we actually expose people, small businesses in the community, youth in particular, to educational and developmental activities and opportunities. So I think the small business program would be fabulous to feature at the market because that's your demographic, right? Particularly because of vendors. And so I think the opportunities are just so ripe. So I'm in this phase where I'm gathering as much information and inspired people as possible to try to make each of our blocks during the farmers market engaging and enriching for the community as we go through this long 16-week market season. So I just wanted to plant that creative seed that we're open to ideas for new programming that is at once educational and entertaining. And I think Weber State and I have the opportunity to talk further as well. So that's my plug. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, thanks.
I would say primarily we reserve those spots for like nonprofits and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and we are typically that's kind of, we don't want it to be lead generating necessarily for people to get sales is the idea. But it feels like we are willing to make exceptions for-profit businesses if we feel that they are offering an opportunity to the community to develop itself rather than just generate more revenue. Does that distinction make sense? We've been grappling with that a lot as a team, trying to figure out how to put words to this idea. So thanks. If you have any more questions, you can talk to me later.
And then I'll just let Sarah go through the occupiers updates as our last agenda item.
All right, so I do have arts updates, but I wanted to mention a business resource that's available from the city before we get into that. The city runs a number of different business loan programs, and right now we have promotional terms on our loan programs so that we can provide some additional flexibility, so we can do a period of deferred payments. We've typically been structuring our loans so that you start with a low interest rate, and then that increases with the goal of having you refinance with a more traditional bank or lender. But we've been looking at those loan programs as a resource that can help businesses that are still recovering from COVID impacts. Likewise, if your businesses have been impacted by the BRT project and you need some additional access to capital, that's exactly what our loan programs are intended to do. So if you do have any interest in that, we're encouraging businesses to apply before the end of March. That was kind of our original deadline for when we were going to be offering the promotional terms on our loan programs. So I know that's only about 2 weeks left, but our team is happy to help you with the application process. Julio Ote is one of our project coordinators over at the BIC, and he's working heavily with our loan programs right now. And so you're welcome to reach out to me directly or to Julio, or I can put you in touch with Julio, but just wanted to mention that we're still offering those promotional terms through the end of March. And let us know if you need any help with the application process. And then as far as arts updates in Nine Rails go, there is still quite a bit going on. We're still working with our contractor for the Dumpke Arts Plaza to make some final adjustments to the plaza and the beacon. The beacon sculpture is actually not quite done yet, but we've been waiting for some warmer weather so that we can make some of those kind of final punch list items, get those taken care of. The sculpture installation that's over there now will be up through the end of September, thanks to our partners at Weber State. And then once the plaza is kind of open and more accessible again, once some of the road construction's wound down, we would love to see community-based arts events start to take place at the plaza. So we're thinking by about mid-July, if you have any ideas for arts events or arts programming that you'd like to host at the plaza, just reach out to our arts and events team, because we'd love to see some more of that. And then there is one other related project to the Arts Plaza. If you go over there right now, you'll see there's like the beautiful renovated Monarch building, and then there's the nice new plaza, and in between we have Ogden Ave, which is not in very good condition. So we've planned some improvements to the very north end of Ogden Ave. Really, it'll just be in that area kind of immediately adjacent to the plaza. And we're hoping to get started on constructing those improvements kind of concurrent, trying to sync up with the BRT schedule so that we get all the construction done at once and don't just prolong that construction period. So we're hoping to start by mid-April and finish up by kind of late June to mid-July. So we may be a little bit behind the BRT project, but we're trying to sync up as much as we can. And during that period of street improvements, the sidewalk that's being used to access the Monarch right now from Ogden Ave, that'll remain in place. That'll still be open, so folks that are parking in the garage down on Ogden Ave will still be able to use that sidewalk up as access to the Monarch. And then we are also working on the corner plaza. So if you know where the little kiosk is, right at the corner of 25th Street and Washington Boulevard, we'll be making some improvements to the area right around that kiosk. And then we have a new public art piece that will be installed later this year. So we are excited to see that coming online. And then I think the last item was that we've been working with the UTA team to do some station art at the BRT stations. And so those will be coming online kind of in conjunction with the BRT construction project as those stations are being installed. We'll have some new artwork at the stations as well. So I think that's everything for the arts updates. Any questions on that or on the business loans? All right, thanks.
Does anyone have any final overall questions, concerns, ideas? Awesome. Well, like I said earlier, we will meet again on Tuesday, June 21st. same time, and I'll be sending out more information about that as that date nears. And then, like I also mentioned at the beginning, this was recorded, and so Thomas and I are going to make a couple edits and then try to get this out tomorrow afternoon. So that will be there for your reference if you want to share with any of your neighbors or employees or whomever at your places of business. But thank you all so much for being here today, and I will see you in June.
Sports. It's 10 and 12U girls fast pitch world championship softball here. It's a 3-year contract. Not loud enough? Okay.
Don't worry.
A 3-year contract. They've been in Park City for 20 years, so we're hoping that within the next 3, we've got them convinced, but they're pretty excited. I was just telling Wyatt that a couple of the event producers, actually, no, that was kayak bass fishing that got our logo tattooed on their body while they were here. So that's just a whole nother story. Anyway, so we're going to have 1,500 athletes, and we're going to have 2.5 parents with them. So between 3,000 and 5,000 people here for a full week. It's July 11th through the 16th. That will be every year for 3 years. And so we want everybody that can offer a special to please log in. In fact, the next one is, here's the QR code. So if you want to even just come up while I'm presenting, that will take you to the sign up. We've made it super easy for you because we're having this company called Bandwango who actually manages the system for us, that people were deleting the email because it's like, who's Bandwango? Is that like a spam? And so they're actually based in Salt Lake, and Visit Salt Lake uses this same system for all of their passes. What's great is it tracks and tells us how many people have signed up, where they're from. We even have names, which is a little Big Brother-ish. But anyway, so this will also come through if you're not signed up for our weekly newsletter that goes out either on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. I do have the sign-up sheet, as Haley mentioned, over here on the table as you leave, as well as my business cards. So there you can also sign up for our savings pass, well, not a savings pass, our hot deals. So if it's, obviously we don't want to know like, oh, well, buy one, get one free type thing, but we want more like a Valentine's special or a spring break special or whatever it is that you want, you can put that, because Hot Deals is our #1 page that is viewed on our website, which is insane. And I think right now we have one hot deal. So it's free. All of this is free. And we want to make it as robust as we possibly can. So and if you're not signed up for the newsletter, you can do that, like I mentioned, but you can also link to not only the hot deals, but also the savings pass on our website. So you can upload through there. The only thing that we'll need from you, other than a photo, but your deal, whatever that looks like. So if you haven't uploaded the pass, take a look at what some of the offers already are. Like take, for instance, Great Harvest. I think it's buy a sandwich and get a cookie or a drink free. It's pretty simple, but it's something that we want to draw business to our locally owned, and it's not open to national chains. So something else that we have is also the Visit Ogden Partner Collective page on Facebook. So if you haven't joined that or been a part of it, let me know too, because I'll go in and add you, and it's a private page, and so it's a great place for you to post information, kind of like what Haley does with Downtown Alliance is she sends out notifications. This one's fun. We can't really see it, but we're going to start posting. We use this platform called Zartico. It's not been quite a year, but it's really Big Brother-ish. And in the last 30 days, Colt took the screenshot, and all those dots are from where people have come to Ogden from the United States. That's just one of the analytics that we can share. And so this is quite simple compared to what we can offer and provide. So it's a great place to talk and communicate amongst businesses, because oftentimes I'm guilty of it. It's like I delete emails without even looking and knowing like, oh crap, I did get a response or it wasn't junk. So make sure you join, or ask to join this collective page for all of our businesses, because it's a great resource for all of you. So I'll be here afterward to answer questions. It's so great to see some new faces. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Karen. Sorry, I always feel like this is going to help you hear me, but it's not at all. So I'm like moving closer to it, and that it's just, guys, it's not effective. So, so next up, I have a couple quick updates for you all, well, semi-updates. So normally at these meetings, we would have a representative from Ogden City with Make Ogden. I reached out to Brandon Cooper, and they are still working through the phase that they were in during our last round of district meetings. So they didn't have that tangible of an update to provide at this time. But their website is still live and active, and we will still be communicating out any developments with that as they move forward. And we will be meeting again on June 8th, so maybe by then they'll have a better update. But the thing that I wanted to mention to you now is last month, actually on the 16th, Make Ogden and the Design Workshop Group hosted a virtual ordinance meeting, and I know some of you were there, and we had several downtown participants. They did record that, so if you have not watched that meeting yet, I did send that out also on the 16th, and I can forward that to you again if you're interested in watching that video so that you can get up to speed on your own time with that project. Yeah, that was that Zoom call, and they also asked for public input. There were some questions and answers. I think that piece is closed now. It was open for, I think, a week after the meeting, but if you would still like to watch that dialogue and then catch up before our next meeting with them, please feel free to do so. And if you have further questions about that ordinance meeting, I would be happy to put you in touch with Greg Montgomery and his team. He is more than willing to answer any questions or give additional information if you are looking for that. So yeah, otherwise I will continue to communicate that as it moves forward, but nothing bonkers at this time. And also same with the Ogden Express, the UTA line. Actually, I'm very excited about this. So we have been able to help them with the collection and the reimbursement of those $15 vouchers, and those are eligible for businesses who are directly impacted by that construction route. So we started on Washington Boulevard last fall, and we were able to reimburse more than $700 to those businesses right along that street that were impacted by that construction, and they were putting up little flag banners so you could find them easily, and we were able to send out parking information. So that was really exciting, and now they've moved up into the Nine Rails Creative District, and those vouchers have been wildly successful, and we are currently working with UTA to make sure that we have enough money and enough budget to do another round of those vouchers, because that construction will not be done until May, and we've already gone through 2 cycles with those vouchers because it's been so successful. So hopefully we'll have an update. They will be at our Tuesday Nine Rails meeting, so if you're also a part of that district, or if you're just curious to talk to them more about that project, they will be there presenting. And we have coupons on the front table right now for the Harrison Boulevard construction, and then after that they will move into the junction, but of course that's down the road, so we will definitely have another district meeting before the junction begins construction, and they will be at that as well. So if you have any questions, their business card is on the front table, but I can probably talk through that with you after the meeting as well. Yeah, it was well over $5,000 collectively for Nine Rails between January and now. So that is amazing, and those business owners are very, very happy. So hopefully we can continue that momentum and that support for them. Yeah, right now it just says end of May 2022, so they still have a little bit there to go. So we're hoping to really give them some additional support in this time. And then my other 2 updates for you. One, Cam is here, and she manages our Instagram takeovers for business owners. So if any of you are interested in logging into our Ogden Downtown or Historic 25th Street accounts for a day, for a weekend, for a special event that you have to take over our stories and share content directly with our followers, we do offer that. We've had a couple people participate last year, but that is something that kind of lost a little bit of momentum during COVID because there wasn't a ton happening to promote, but now we're getting back into our full event season and specials and later hours and, you know, staffing updates and things. So if you would like to connect with Cam on that, she'll be here after the meeting, so she can take your name and your email and we can work with you on that information. And then there's also a standing note on the back of the agenda with her email address if you want to take that information with you to go. And then, last but not least for my updates, I wanted to provide a little information about our Facade improvement grant. So back in 2020, during that first year of COVID-19, we worked to help establish the Facade Improvement Grant, and each business could apply for up to $5,000 in funding to do facade updates to their business, and this was very successful. Awarded businesses include Good Company Theater, Lavender Vinyl, Cafe Mercantile, businesses like that, and so we've posted a lot of those before and after pictures on our social as well as in our newsletter. And since 2020, drum roll, I'm very excited to say that we have been able to fund $46,000 in facade improvement grants to 16 businesses. And so this is an effort that we are now continuing. We've been working really hard as an office to join the National Main Streets America organization and to earn the community designation for Ogden in the Utah Main Streets program specifically. Lots of words right there. But this is very exciting, and we were actually just awarded a $30,000 downtown enhancement grant through this, which we will be using to fund our next round of facade improvement grants. So we are working to have that application open in April, and I will be communicating those dates and deadlines out as we get closer, but have that in the back of your mind, and I'll be sending out that information so you can see if that's something you are interested in applying for. And if you have any questions, feel free to chat with Kim or myself more about that, and we would be happy to get you that information. But very exciting, awesome resource for you all. Does anyone have any questions about those quick downtown and OTA updates?
I just have to give a shout out to Kim because Mary Anderson, who oversees the Main Street program for the state of Utah, relied heavily on Kim and her insight and what she's done here locally. And so it's like, good job, Kim. There's other communities here in the state that are benefiting because of Kim's experience here in Ogden and what she's been able to share. So.
Stand up. No, I'm just kidding. So next I wanted to invite Jessica to come up and just talk through some of our upcoming event dates and times and what that means for you all as downtown business owners.
Hi, guys. As mentioned, I am the new Arts and Events Coordinator. We've got a couple really exciting events coming up. The first one is Beer Fest. It's actually next weekend. There's a VIP hour from 3 to 4, and then general admission will open from 4 to 8. And so it's going to be just a great kickoff to our event season. And with us coming off of COVID and everything, we really hope this year is the best year yet. And then we've got Farmers Market. It opens on May 28th. It'll run from 8 to 1. So if you're a business, be sure to be open. There's going to be lots of extra traffic on the street. Just keep that in mind. Make sure you look open. I know when I owned a business on 25th Street, I wasn't always great at that. And you can really tell when you look open, whether that's A-frame signs or whatever. Last thing, tickets are on sale for Beer Fest right now. If you have friends that you would like to go with, make sure you guys get them soon because they are selling out pretty quickly. And that's it.
And also with Beer Fest and the other events, so the Beer Fest is in the Union Station, and with events that happen at Union Station, but also on 25th Street, when we're talking about these events to the public, we're also encouraging them where to park and telling them where to park. And a lot of times it is in the Union Station parking lots or in the parking lot with the court building, and then in Electric Alley. So they're parking, and then even sometimes the junction. So they're parking in these areas and they're walking. So that's another reason why we really push for you all to have signage and have your lights on and be open and be outside, because they are definitely like coming from all over. Sometimes they're even parking up by the Monarch and walking down. So we have a large audience, like Kim was saying, for that. So especially for next weekend with Union Station, for those businesses on 25th Street, especially the bars and the restaurants, after the event ends at 8, we are then on social, like pushing people to go and continue their night out at the bar or at a restaurant, or to walk downtown safely, of course. So just be aware of that. You might see some increase in business if you are a restaurant or a bar next weekend. So all good things, all fun things. I also wanted to make a note, speaking of Electric Alley, the parking permits should all be passed out by now. I know there was a delay in printing in January because there are just lots of fun delays happening all over. So they were honoring 2021 passes for a bit, but Adam from Ogden City emailed me and that should all be taken care of. So if you have not received your 2022 parking passes yet, get with me after the meeting and I can put you in contact with Adam to be sure that you have that, but that issue should be resolved by now. So with that, I will open it up to any questions or ideas or additional comments, but that's the end of our updates and agenda. So does anyone else have anything to add or any questions? And again, we will be meeting again June 8th. So at our June 8th meeting, we'll have another round of like Make Ogden UTA updates, maybe some from Visit Ogden or from Ogden City Ogden Arts if they have any at that time. And then we'll talk through the next cycle of our events at that time and probably be a little more in the weeds for Farmers Market. And before that event in May, I will come around for those 25th Street businesses with additional information for you all. So we'll definitely have more communication about that as that date gets closer. But fabulous.